Ladies, you want to see a man in rare form? Go to the basketball court. Because I don't care. Like, if I tried to get out on the basketball court right now, I haven't played basketball in a long time. If I tried to get out on the basketball court right now, I would look like a scrub. But guess what? I'm a talk head the whole way. I'll be like, what? Right? And then if I lose, then I'm gonna make up a reason as to why I lost. Man, my ankle, I sprained my ankle last week. Because we hate to feel like we failed. Samson was still stinging with the reality that his first marriage failed. So when he got with Delilah, I bet he was saying, I bet this one gonna work. But I'm gonna stick out this way, because men, we hate to feel like we're failing at work. We hate to feel like we're failing at home. We hate to feel everything. I don't care. We can play a game of Yahtzee. My wife will tell you I'm the worst person to play Monopoly with. Worst person. Because before I lose, it'll be an earthquake in Monopoly land. Because we hate to fail. And that's what this exemplifies. Number 3, not only do we love hard, we grieve hard, but here's the caveat though, that ladies, you have to understand. We grieve hard, but we don't grieve long. Okay? Chapter 14, Samson comes home to his woman being sold off to his friend. Chapter 15 is Samson's grieving. That's when he kills 1,000 men with the jawbone of a donkey. He's angry. He's grieving. By chapter 16, he's with Delilah. Chapter 14, his woman is sold to his friend. Chapter 15, he's grieving hard. He kills 1,000 men. Chapter 16, he's stepping out again saying, hey. For you. You date somebody, you're married to somebody, you divorce, you break up, something happens, it doesn't work, and then you get upset 3 months later when you see him holding hands with another woman, and then you think, well, you never loved me in the first place. How could you do that if you never was really into it? No. What it means is I hurt when we split up. It hurt. I cried. It was tough. But guess what? I got over it. We're not gonna stay in the house for a year. We're not gonna not eat for 6 months. We're not gonna not go anywhere. We're not gonna mope around for long. We're gonna be like, dang, that hurts. We're gonna be down for a couple of months. But after a couple of months is out, we're gonna be calling our homeboys, going to the movies, and meeting somebody else. Right or wrong, it just is what it is. Samson exemplifies this. Doesn't mean that we didn't love you. Doesn't mean that we didn't care about you. What it means is we know how to keep it moving. And this is something, ladies, that you have to learn, because it makes it difficult, ladies, when you get in a relationship, but you punish the new person that you're with for the mistakes of the guy you were with 10 years ago. See, a lot of times when we enter a relationship, we enter it fresh. A lot of times we're not tripping about what happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago. We're over it. We're fine. We want to be with you, but we don't get that same, consideration. A lot of times we have to pay the price for what happened to you 5, 10, 20, 30 years ago. And it's just an unfair situation and setup. Samson, chapter 16, meets Delilah. And verse 4 and 5 really kind of tells us Delilah's purpose in Samson's life. And I think verse 4 and 5 highlights for us the fact that Delilah can really come in many forms. Look at what happens. Verse 4. Sometime later, Samson fell in love with a woman in the valley whose name was Delilah. The rulers of the Philistines went to her and said, "See if you can lure him into showing you the secret of his great strength and how we can overpower him so we may tie him up and subdue him. Each one of us will give you 1,100 shekels of silver." So here's Delilah, fellas. Number 1, she looked good. Okay? Number 2, she was sent by the enemy to do 2 things. To tie Samson up and to ultimately make him ineffective. She looked good, but she was sent by the enemy to subdue Samson and to cause him to not be able to operate in power. This ought to be proof that Delilah isn't just a woman. Because fellas, we can get tied down by so many things that we're oblivious to. We get involved in hobbies a lot. And at first we think the hobby is just a pastime. I just do the hobby as something on the side. It's just something that I do to escape. And then 6 months down the road, fellas, it's real easy for us to be spending more time on our hobby than we do with our kids. Delilah comes in to tie you up, to subdue you, and to make you ineffective. It starts out as a wonderful new job that I get. But before long, the job begins to trump your wife. The job begins to trump your kids. The job begins to trump your life. And you justify it under the guise of, I gotta work, I gotta do this. This is Delilah's trickery. This is Delilah's deceitfulness. And what makes it so frustrating for women, fellas, is that women are better able to identify Delilah than we are.
Yeah.
Women have this instinct that men, we're dumb, fellas. Let's just kind of put it out there, okay? I remember a while back, we were part of another ministry, and there was this young lady in the ministry that was real friendly. She was real friendly, and I thought she was just being friendly. And my wife would come to me and say, she wants you. We're like, what are you talking about? The girl is just friendly. She's just trying to be friendly. She wanted. I thought she was crazy. Well, turns out that she was right all the time. See, women get frustrated because they have this built-in reception to be able to point out and say, that ain't right. You need to walk away from that. Put that down. Stop that. We see it as nagging, but they see it as us about to fall off a precipice and hurt ourselves because we're totally oblivious to the fact that we've allowed Delilah to sneak into our lives and to steal our attention. You want me to give you proof of this? In the book of Genesis, after Eve eats the fruit, gives it to her husband, God comes, has a discussion with both Adam and Eve, and in essence God says, why did you do it? Adam says, it was the woman. It was this woman right here. If you didn't give me this doggone woman, I'd be cool. Shoot. Eve understands, no, this is a spiritual thing. This is deeper. It was the serpent. While Adam was blaming the woman, totally oblivious to the fact that the enemy was right under his feet. Wow. The woman was able to identify there's something deeper than flesh doing this. This is spiritual right here. Because women have this receptivity to Delilah. So fellas, listen. You have to be real careful and real conscious and real open to any feedback that you get about something that you like, something that you think is harmless, something that you think is just, a part of who you are, that somebody is telling you, specifically a woman, she's telling you that it's taking too much of your time. That is taking too much of your attention. That is starting to pull you away. See, a lot of times, fellas, what we'll do is we'll get upset. What are you talking about? I was doing this before you met me. I'm doing it now. You trying to change me? I don't even understand why you getting in my face about all this stuff. You need to go somewhere with that. I'm going to do me. All I have is my little 2 hours of this, and I do my little 2 hours, and I go back. No, fellas. You need to be really mindful and listen to when a woman tells you you're doing that too much. You're starting to fall off the cliff. You need to rein it in, because that's how Delilah operates. Delilah will come in, and remember, she's good looking. It's so fun to be off doing what you do on the weekends, water skiing or whatever. It's so fun. It looks good. It's a job, right? You got to make the money. You got to bring home the bacon. You got to pay the bills, right? You're just doing what you got to do. But before long, fellas, because we don't have the receptivity that they do, we'll find ourselves tied up with no strength and totally ineffective behind Delilah. All marriages don't fail because of infidelity. Some marriages fail because he's with the fellas too much. Some marriages fail because he's out, he's out with his car too much. He cares more about his car than he does about me. Delilah comes in many different forms. He's on the internet 19 hours out of the day. messing around with Delilah, not even realizing that Delilah's job is to tie you up and to make you ineffective. This was Delilah's MO. Three times, she attempts to tie Samson up. He conquers it. You want to know what the downfall was, though? Look at verse 15. Verse 15, she says, how can you say I love you when you won't confide in me? This is the third time you have made a fool of me and haven't told me the secret of your great strength. She pulls, ladies, this is your trump card. She pulls the love card. You don't love me because this and this and this and that. I have to deal with this for just a second. I have to deal with the different ways that men and women communicate love. Because we communicate it in different ways. Women, a lot of times, they want to feel it, they want to hear it, they want it to be spoken. They like for poems to be written. They like for, deep words to be spoken. A woman would love to just hear a man say, I love you 30 million times. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. They love that. They love waking up in the morning to a rose on their pillow and a gift card to the spa next to them saying, baby, go ahead and have a great day and I'll be home to cook you dinner and to rub your feet. And that communicates love to women. All of the feely things. Let's talk on the phone and just talk about, puddles of love raining down. Come on, ladies, you know how you are. Because if it's been a year you've been with him, a year you've been married and he hasn't said I love you yet, then you start to question, he don't love me. He don't love me because he hasn't said it. We communicate totally different. You want to know how men communicate love? I'm working this doggone job that I hate. I'm slaving 9 to 5. But I'm doing it because I'm trying to provide for my wife. I could easily quit. This boss is getting on my nerves. I could go back in the streets and I could hustle and I could make $3 like that. But she don't want me to. She wants me to be legit. So I'm gonna be legit. I'm gonna work this job. I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna pay this rent. I'm gonna make sure my kids. That's how we communicate love. So when you want to know, do I love you? Here's the question: am I working? Consistently. Another way we communicate love, ladies, am I faithful? We might not say it. We might not sit here, I love you, 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 a million times. But if I'm not messing around with every single woman in the office, if I'm coming home to you and only you, because let me help you guys to understand something, okay? Fellas, I'm gonna help you guys out, all right? It is not male nature. I'm gonna just throw it out here. It is not male nature to be monogamous. That's something that we have to work at, ladies. That's something that we have to really wake up every morning and be focused on, because our nature is to have as many girlfriends, have as many experiences, because men are able to detach physical pleasure with emotional connection. Okay? So it is in our nature to have get as many numbers. Come on now, fellas, how many of you guys used to play the number game with your friends at school? Rob, come on. Now, ladies, how many of y'all used to do that? I guarantee it's not as many ladies as guys that used to go on, okay, we're about to get 20 numbers, 30 numbers. A lot of times, we would get one girl's number and all her friends' number and then all their friends' number, and we come back and we laugh about it. That is our nature. It takes effort for a man to be monogamous. So if I'm gonna focus and harness myself, and if I'm gonna keep myself from doing what it's in my nature to do, it means I'm into you, I love you, and you're everything that I want, because male nature is to cheat.